Mutakai Oyes and all my relations, that's you. Hello. I wish to talk to you again about fear. I've done it before, I'm doing it again, and I'm certain it'll happen again and again. But fear is ever present on our minds right now during this response to this COVID-19 pandemic. Tell you a little story. Not too long ago, I got involved with a woman who was accused of doing some very bigoted things, things that a lot of people would call racism. I've talked to you about this before. Don't believe in racism because I don't believe in race. I believe in bigotry. I believe in prejudice. I believe in hate. Lord, that needs to stop. But to actually use the word racism is very bigoted. The whole concept, the word race was invented, was coined by slave traders. Way back in the day on the Middle Passage, taking the slaves from Africa, bringing them to the Caribbean, bringing them to the United States. So race is actually, quote, a racist word. So she was accused of racism, but see, I got involved with her because her family told me about it, her kids told me about it, and I offer redemption to people. Anyone can be redeemed, and I just wanted to help her, guide her toward a more open, embracing, loving, redemptive viewpoint toward humanity. And in my dealings with her, I realized that she was innocent. In my dealings with her, I realized she had been set up. And all the people that screamed for her head and wanted her entire career to be over, and wanted her as a mom to her kids, and as a wife to her husband, wanted it to be over, wanted that to follow her the rest of her life. They acted out of fear. They acted out of fear. They were fearful that this thing called bigotry, this thing they called racism, exists, and that it is bigger than them. And oh my gosh, the chorus of voices was deafening. Their fear was that they couldn't defeat it. Their fear was that they couldn't offer redemption. The fear was that that person couldn't get redemption. And when I challenged some of these people who were clamoring for her head, I said, "Can't you get redemption?" And they all said, "Sure, absolutely." And some said, "I guess, but not from me. That's somebody else's problem. It's our problem." So I got involved in this lady's life, and I took some risk. I took some hits. I took some criticism. But the thing is, I am convinced that she had been set up. I am convinced that she is innocent. And for me to pretend otherwise would be lying. I'm not going to lie. That doesn't do anybody any good. For me to pretend otherwise and not address how society is attacking each other, pummeling each other, eating each other. I needed to address this to provide an antidote, answers, to provide a way out of this madness, to provide an opportunity, a reason to pause and to ask ourselves, is this right? And if it is not, what do we need to do to make it right? So, here we have this pandemic. Yes, it's here. Could our government have done something differently? Yes. Could they have done something differently that would have not left us in this position? I frankly very much doubt it. because the world is dealing with this. And I'm aware of the numbers. I'm aware that right now the numbers are such that that we surpassed, I think, every other country, even China. We got a big country. I know China's bigger, but as far as everyone else, every other country, we got a big country. It stands to reason we're going to have more people infected. But when people talk about the numbers, when the quote experts, and maybe not the experts, but when the media talks about the numbers, they just lead with fear. They lead with absolute fear-mongering. Today in the Philadelphia Inquirer, headline was tsunami coming. And then, and you know, I don't know, 2-inch type bold font. And then something below that about New York. And I'm thinking, there's a tsunami coming to New York City? Oh my gosh, this is horrible. And then I read, and they're talking about the effect of coronavirus on Philadelphia. I wrote a letter to the Inquirer and I said, it is the most irresponsible journalism I have ever read. Now I stand by that. You don't lead with fear. You don't lead with fear. You lead with hope. And you don't make this wild metaphorical allusion to a tsunami or an earthquake or a volcano or whatever. Most people, the overwhelming majority of people, right now I can't tell you, I would say at least 95% of the people in Philadelphia, and more than that in the country, are not affected. And I don't believe will get affected, or at least not get affected in such a way that they are symptomatic and that their health is in danger. There is hope. And there are people doing these wonderful things. Just today, my family and I, my wife and my son, we took a 5-mile hike through Pennypack Park. And I made sure to greet everyone I passed. Big smile. And most of them returned that smile. There's just a few holdouts who didn't. You spread hope. You spread love. You spread joy. You spread confidence. Now, I talked in an earlier video about contemplative prayer. That's how you get to it. So reference that video if you need. But all these people, all you folks out there who are just giving into the fear. I've been criticized for this. Here we go. Stop it. Stop giving into the fear. Go to contemplative prayer. Think about all the wonderful things that are happening in the world. Think about all the wonderful things that you need to be doing right now to help people feel better. And I understand the fear. I do. Because I used to be enthralled to the fear. Not here, not coronavirus, other things. I was a very fearful, anxious person for most of my life. But those of you who are actively leading others to feel the fear, I'm coming for you. My hands are outstretched. I will do everything I can to guide you to a place of calm and peace. But if you're going to turn me down, if you're going to turn other people down, and you're just going to go out there and spread the fear and spread the anger and spread the panic and spread the depression, I'm coming for you. This pandemic has galvanized me, especially following on the heels of that lady I just told you about. I still feel the same way. I felt the same way about life and about the inconsistencies of people and of what's important in life. I've felt pretty much that same way my entire life. But I've become more and more convinced and dedicated to the cause of redemption. And right now, I am a warrior, and I will remain so. You need any help, need any hope, call me, message me, write to me, post it publicly. I'm here for you. But if you're here against humanity, shut up Get out of my way. I do love you. I love you all. Peace. 4 fingers. Talk to you soon.